starting our tour. It's day 10. We're in Iowa. Finally, we got to the state of Iowa. We started in Worthington, Minnesota. We traveled south on Highway 86. As we got further south past Highway 86 and 9, we, I think, put behind us all that standing water, those drowned out areas. We're finally finding some corn that's head high. Looking a lot better down here in southern, well, we haven't quite got to the central part of Iowa. Just to give you some quick facts as we start this day 10 tour in Iowa, the average corn yield in Iowa is typically around 185 in 2013. 2012 it was 137 for soys. It's typically around that 44.5. It was unchanged versus 12 at 44.5. Iowa is one of the more important states. It is ranked #1 in corn production and soybean production. Corn was rated 76% good to excellent versus national average at 75. Soys were rated 73% versus national average at 72. So this corn probably a good week or so away from tasseling, but we'll see if it improves as we go further south. We're traveling south on 71. We're near Storm Lake, Iowa. We go further south, and I thought we would leave the nitrogen loss that we saw in South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota, and guess what? It's in Iowa. I'm very disappointed with the crop so far in Iowa. It's a big state. It does not look as good as I thought it would. There is the odd good field, but we're seeing a lot of this as we travel further south. Hopefully it gets better. We're in west central Iowa. It's a nice sunny day. It's a little windy, about 70 degrees outside. And we're just 10 miles north of Carroll, Iowa, and we're in front of a soybean field. One of the better looking fields we've seen. Finally, some beans that are knee high. They're blooming. They look awesome. Anything below Storm Lake has gotten a lot better as we've traveled further south and west. We're south in Iowa, just south of Russell, Iowa. We're in front of a soybean field, knee-high, blooming. As we've traveled further south into Iowa, we haven't seen any disease pressure, we haven't seen any weather issues. The crops are looking really good. We're traveling north on Highway 63, just north of Tama, Iowa, and we're in front of another cornfield here. And corn in Iowa looks healthy. It's stress-free. There is no disease pressure or weather pressures at this point for most of Iowa. A little disappointed with the size and the fact that maybe it's not tasseling. Maybe 25 to a third of the corn crop is tasseling, but looking good. We're now in front of a cornfield. It's again, we're just south of Allison, and we're traveling further north into Iowa, and this is a good looking, healthy, stress-free cornfield. It was planted first week of May. Typically this type of field in this area will get going early April, so it's a little bit behind, but probably going to pollinate sometime in the next couple of weeks. But it's nice and lush and green. And we're 6 miles south of Allison off of Highway 3 as we were traveling further north into Iowa to get close to concluding our tour here. We noticed a lot of flooding. I don't know if you saw it on TV, but Cedar Rapids flooded this year, and we saw a lot of fields that were underwater. If you travel further west, farmers are telling us that it's even worse there. Standing water and drowned out fields, but this is a good looking field here. It was planted May 22nd. It's a little bit behind, but it probably needs some more heat. This area has been getting a lot of rain as well, and it is starting to bloom, but looks healthy. Doesn't look like it's stressed. And this, typically the farmer says that this bean crop can yield as much as 60 bushels per acre. So you know, I think these beans will surprise you in terms of yields if we can finish strong. We're traveling northeast on Highway 9 into northern Iowa. We're about 15 miles from the Minnesota border. We're in the northeast corner. We're in front of another cornfield. This cornfield looks very variable, not as tall as what we've seen in the central to southern Iowa. As we've traveled further northeast, we've seen more of the issues we've seen along our tour, which is the yellow corn, the size of the corn, the beans are a little smaller. Looks like a little too much moisture up here as well, but we're going to conclude our tour in Iowa from what I've seen. So we looked at the northwest corner, which had hail damage, too much moisture, drowned out areas, standing water. We had flooding in Cedar Rapids, again, too many wet fields there. We're going to lose some acres there. And then of course this northeast corner doesn't look that great either, but it's okay, but it's below average. So if I'm going to rate the beans in Iowa, I'm going to rate them a 7. I'm going to rate the corn an 8. I think if we can finish strong, they got a good foundation, good start. I think these yields in Iowa are going to surprise everybody on what they're capable of doing here in the next couple months. So Iowa, you know, top 3rd state. It's the biggest corn soybean producing state. Not quite as good as Indiana, Illinois. I'd rate Indiana, Illinois a 10 out of 10. That's how good they were, but it's got a good strong start.